Good morning and welcome to the CACTV Breakfast show. Thank God for a beautiful atmosphere. It's really fine this morning here in the studio as we are live and healthy. To God be the glory, and I hope you are also enjoying your day wherever you are. It's a pleasant day here in the studio, and I want to say once again thank you for joining us on the show today. I am Toke Bravo. We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll go straight to the lucky stories that made it to the front pages of the national dailies. On the Nation newspaper this morning, the FCC returns recovered assets to Enugu government. You can find that story on the page 4 of the Nation newspaper. House 6 document in probe of El-Rufai administration. That's on page 7 of the Nation newspaper. And particularly on the story, some people allege that it is because El-Rufai spilled information concerning fuel subsidy that the government, even though they told the whole country that fuel subsidy is gone, that they still pay fuel subsidy. And after that statement, there are allegations against him that he left some loans, a lot of debt for the current administration, and because of this is on the probe. All the documents that has to do with the loan he actually assessed during his tenure as the governor of Kaduna State has been asked to be submitted to the right committee for probe. And some people are still arguing that if he hadn't said that he might not land himself in some trouble. But if you ask me, he's actually not in any trouble if his hands are clean. If he has done nothing wrong, he would go to the committee or whatever panel that has been set up to probe him with clean hands and a free heart. Moving on, Ajayi Ebisheni Mafo others in battle for Ondo PDP ticket. That's on page 5 of the Nation newspaper. Makinde vows not to back any candidate older than 52 in 2027. That's coming from the Oyo State governor, that once you are above 52 years old, is not giving you his support. He has made it clear. DSTV raises subscription rates. This is very tough. DSTV raises subscription rates. Like, what's the duration for increment? Because not too long ago it was increased and now they are increasing again. You find that on page 4. Mining quarry licenses revoked. If you want to read details concerning that story, just go to the page 3 of the Nation newspaper. And on the banner headline, we have government opens Nigerians access to consumer credit with 100 billion naira. Scheme to put money in pockets, stimulate manufacturing. That's coming from the experts and speakers of program. Moving on, more to come on the Nation newspaper. Lagos State target 500,000 households under Eco Care's free meal initiative. More stories to come. Rivers crisis. Attorney General Finance Commissioner quit Fubara Escos. That's on page 4. I just hope that this Fubara and Wike crisis comes to an end very quickly. It's taking too much. We move on to the Nigerian Tribune. 7 aspirants slug it out as Ondo PDP governorship primary holds today. That's on page 25 of the Nigerian Tribune. You can quickly get that to get details. Tinubu approves takeoff of consumer credit scheme. If you want to know more about this credit scheme, it's on all national dailies today. Just grab a copy of your own newspaper today and read in total what the consumer credit scheme is about. Federal government revokes 924 dormant mining licenses. That is coming from the Minister Dele Alake. And on the banner headline of the Nigerian Tribune, EFCC discovers Yahoo training schools in almost all states. On the radar, we have withdraws appeal against Yaya Bello. Anti-graft boss must exercise restraint else. That is coming from lawyers, that the EFCC has to exercise restraint because the court, the High Court in Kogi State already said that. CSO protest in Lagos, frown on media trial. EFCC hands over 14 forfeited properties to Enugu government. Wow. I think this is the first time we are seeing stuff like this, that okay, it has been forfeited and everyone can see where it has been handed over to. First Bank emerges best private bank in Nigeria, best for investment in Africa. Federal government suspends Dana Air operations. It was in the news that Dana Air crash landed here in Lagos. Dana Air has always been in the news for crashing and all that. And I think that is why the federal government is halting their operations for now. They should get it together, pull it together. They are dealing with lives and not just inanimate objects. Rivers Finance Justice Commissioners resign, reject redeployment. That's on Rivers State government. West Africa losing primacy in cocoa production, expert wants. It's not just in cocoa farming. Anything that has to do farming. Nigeria as a country is taking the back seat, which I think is not okay. But what can we do when there is insecurity in the land? A lot of people that wants to go into mechanized farming, that wants to do better in the farming sector, fear for their lives as insecurity, insurgency, terrorism is the order of the day. Who wants to die? No one. So I pray that the government succeed in that aspect too, so that we can bounce back in the area of farming. Sanwo-Olu, we have fulfilled our promises. Launches free food for 500,000 households under Eco Cares. Medical outreach for vulnerable begins next week. So just watch out on all Lagos State portals to get information on the medical outreach so that you can also be a partaker. Nigeria divided, requires one statesman to unite it. That statement is coming from the ex-speaker Saraki. Our system should allow young people assume leadership position. Makinde, as Southwest speakers insist on multi-level policing. Ban on open grazing still in force. That is coming from Governor Obaseki. Moving on to the Punch newspaper right now. Queues return as fuel scarcity hits Abuja and 5 other states. Why do we have fuel scarcity in the country? Why? The 5 oil firms face probe over environmental pollution. Delayed justice. Tinubu National Assembly demand judicial reforms. Moving on. I sneezed blood 2 days before chess marathon began. This is actually coming from Onokoya, the chess man who just broke the World Guinness record. He said he sneezed blood 2 days before chess marathon. That's tough. I believe he would have seen his medical experts after doing a 2 days marathon on chess. On the banner headline of the Punch newspaper, consumer lament as food prices rise 30% in 8 states. Beans, garri, semolina, others rise by over 30% despite currency gain. This is the issue. When we talk about inflation, Nigerians, we can do better. We can do better. Every indicator that gave way to inflation has started coming back to normal, and it's already adjusting. Why is it not effective on food, especially food? Why? The problem is that it's a norm in Nigeria that once something goes up, once a price of a commodity goes up, you don't see it coming down again. You cannot. I think this is what we are struggling with, and the food commission should please do the needful. They have been doing it. We have seen them go to Abuja and some other places. They should please go around, make sure that the naira appreciation affects every other thing, especially food. It is very, very compulsory. 500,000 households to get Lagos palliative, says Sanwo-Olu. You can find that also on the Punch newspaper. JAMB plans meeting with NIMC over candidates with double NIN. Bullying parents seek justice after another student speak out. Police shooting victim North Outtech student. That's management. There has been an uproar on the internet concerning a particular policeman named Said who shot 2 brothers at the gate of a school. 2 brothers from one mother. What is the situation? What is the condition that woman would be right now? And people have been seeking justice for these people. Every time we talk about police brutality, we talk about their excesses on the road, how they handle their guns and all. This is yet another issue to deal with. I believe that the current administration is swift when it comes to things like this in response. I believe they must have been doing something about it. May God give the woman the fortitude to bear this tragic loss. It's very, very saddening to lose 2 children just in one day. That's too much for a mother to bear. Moving on to Guardian. Federal government's non-retention policy. Over 5,032 first-class graduates languish amid vacancies in varsities. The analysis is there for you to see. They said to employ a single. If you want those analysis, just grab your Guardian newspaper. Currency outside banks up by 300% as economies slip into cash hoarding. Another cash hoarding. Wike's loyalists reject redeployment. Resign from Rivers cabinet. Zulum urges establishment of military bases in Sambisa Forest, Mandara Hills. EFCC withdraws appeal against order restraining Yaya Bello's arrest. Aviators fault interference as federal government ground Dana air operations. And here we have got federal government probes bullying incident at British International School, Abuja. And that's all we have on the newspaper today. We'll go on a break. When we come back, we have some stories to discuss.
Sir,
this is nothing wrong with
sorry,
prudent
sir,
surveying.
because we are all learning.
Okay, sir.
And we know that God is not just saying this to
Okay.
us. When we say this church, turning the church to a place of merchandise, all this calling of money,
Yeah.
can we link it up to it?
Yes, we can. We can link it up to it. There is no bad that, okay, we want to work for God. Who can work for God? And that is okay. But to say that
2 million,
if you
1
don't bring
million.
2 million, the Lord is telling me that somebody has the 2 million there. If you fail to bring it, problem is going to happen to your business and all that. So
They've turned it to blackmailing.
Yes. So it does not call for that. It does not call for that. When I was doing some survey of churches, even in this Lagos, I went to a church. They have their service from beginning to the end. They didn't ask for offering, even though they have the way they contributed. They didn't have the offering. Yes, and also I went to a church, and the man of God said, "The offering you are about to cast today, while you are going home, give to the needy." They didn't collect anything. They give the offering to the needy on your way home. If not, I'm a pastor. Do you know that is the church I will be going?
The Kaduna State House of Assembly has initiated an investigation into the financial activities of the state during the tenure of former Governor Nasir El-Rufai. The probe, covering the period from May 29, 2015 to May 29, 2023, will focus on loans, financial transactions, contractual obligations, and other relevant matters. The Assembly has constituted an ad hoc committee to conduct the investigation as per its standing orders and constitutional provisions. A formal communication has been sent to the Commissioner of Finance outlining the scope of the probe and requesting comprehensive documentation to facilitate the inquiry. Some people call this witch hunting. That's where I am coming from. Why some people believe it's a normal thing to do. But to me, it's likely witch hunting, and then it is maybe 80% a normal thing to do. All government officials, all politicians living a particular office are supposed to give accountability of what they have done, at least a report, a comprehensive report of what they have done with their 4 or 8 years in service. It is not until when they are being suspected or someone feel they should be probed before this is done. On your way out of the office, you are supposed to have a comprehensive report that will show what you have done in your 8 years tenure or 4 years tenure, as the case may be. So for him to have talked about fuel subsidy, that the government is paying trillions, they are paying in trillions to cover for fuel subsidy, and then after that this probe. So to me, I believe people who think that this is witch hunting actually have their right and their opinion. And that I'm saying that is a normal thing for every politician leaving office to at least submit a report of what they have done so far in the office, maybe to the public, to the relevant agencies, relevant parastatals, just for the documentation purposes. It shouldn't be just for their offices alone, so that people can see. INPC here last week, we were talking about EFCC trying to nab the ex-governor of Kogi State, Yaya Bello. And why is it that they have to wait until these people leave office? Okay, because of immunity. Why not just put it out while they are still on seat? You don't have to arrest them, but you can put out your observation, things that you have find out that is not really going well with a particular state. Not until the money has been moved from government treasury to an individual's pocket before you start chasing them all around like a cat chasing a dog. All these things are things that we as Nigerians should talk about. Thank God we have more Nigerians, intentional Nigerians, who want to know what the government is doing with their resources. Gone are the days when our parents will say, I don't want trouble, let them stay there and be doing their thing while I'm here doing my business. But these current Nigerians wants to know what the government is doing with their money. They want to know what the government is up to. They want to hold the government accountable to anything that they are supposed to do. They must come out, they must be responsive, they must do what is needed of them to do. Just like it happened on the internet, the video of the Chinese restaurant where Nigerians are not allowed to go in and get something. Someone raised the alarm. It was so good, amazing for our government to swiftly respond to that. Immediately Food Commission got there. They had to do what they needed to do. They sealed up the place. This morning I read that the place has already been opened again, because after investigation, the China woman who owns the place and other investigation proves that the supermarket only serve people who are in that residence. The supermarket is only for people living in that residence or working in that residence. People who include both Nigerians and other nationals. If our government can keep responding to things like this, will be better, and Nigeria will be a safer and a saner climb. But I'm not forgetting that I'm talking about El-Rufai. Why is El-Rufai also talking about fuel subsidy? What are his evidences? Because I, for one, if I have evidence of what I have actually alleged, I will come out with evidences, with receipts, like they used to say. You come out with receipts that I am not lying. At so time, the federal government paid so amount into so account for subsidy. The marketers that were involved, the marketers who actually benefited from this amount are so and so. You call names, bring them out. But in this case, you have just made an allegation against the government that has denounced fuel subsidy, and here you are, you have to face your own probe. Okay, from another look, is the probe a way of trying to keep El-Rufai's mouth shut so that he can let the government do their thing? A lot of sides to this story, because there are a lot of speculations to this, that okay, even though the subsidy allegation, the subsidy payment allegation he made wasn't right, the government also is retaliating by putting him under probe so that he can get busy with whatever the probe is going to do to him, and let the government be. Because some people allege that since he couldn't get a ministerial position in the current administration, he wants to turn himself into trouble for the current administration. On this story, there are a lot of speculation, but I cannot judge. I, for one, cannot judge. I can only bring it to your ears. And now that I've actually tried to analyze it in my own little way, you can drop your comments how you feel about this on CSC TV, on Facebook, CSC TV, on YouTube. I would like to read from you. We are still here. We'll go on a break. When we come back, I have more stories for you. back is still the CHR's Breakfast Show, and I am Toke Bravo. For those that are watching on Mople's channel 416, I say thank you for staying tuned. And if you're watching live on Facebook, thank you for staying tuned. Don't forget to leave a message. Don't forget to leave a comment. I will take all of them later. This is a breaking news, and according to the Vanguard newspaper, no fewer than 119 inmates of the medium security custodial center, Suleja, Niger State, have escaped following hours of heavy downpour which destroyed parts of the facility on Wednesday night. This actually happened yesterday night. Spokesman of the Federal Capital Territory FCT Command of the Nigeria Correctional Services NCOS Adamu Duza disclosed this in a statement on Thursday morning. He said a heavy downpour that lasted for several hours on the night of Wednesday 24 April 2024 has wreaked havoc on the medium security custodial center Suleja, Niger State, as well as surrounding buildings, destroying part of the custodial facility, including its perimeter fence, giving way to the escape of a total of 118 inmates of the facility. According to him, the service has immediately activated its recapturing mechanism and, in conjunction with sister security agencies, has so far recaptured 10 fleeing inmates and taken them into custody, while still in a hot chase to recapture the rest. Duza said the service is not unmindful of the fact that many of its facilities were built during the colonial era and they were old and weak, adding that the service is making frantic efforts to see that all aging facilities give way to modern ones. This is evidenced in the ongoing construction of six number of 3,000 capacity ultra-modern custodial center in all geopolitical zones in Nigeria, as well as the ongoing reconstruction and renovation of existing ones. This morning, I read a report on the Punch newspaper where U.S. reports spotlight on the Nigerian Correctional Services, otherwise known as prisons, that most of our prisons were built 80 years ago. 80 years ago. A lot of things have to be amended. A lot of things have to be talked about. A lot of state governments marked down houses, especially here in Lagos. If your house have some issues, they will come mark it for you to break it down and rebuild. Or if you can't do that, the government will come and break it off for you. We have seen that in Lagos times without number. So what about our facilities? Even the report went further to say that these correctional centers does not have the facilities to take some of these inmates, like the nursing mothers, pregnant women. There are no provisions for some conditions of persons in the correctional centers. And just this morning, there is another news of inmates breaking out of the prison centers because of just an ordinary downpour of rain. These are the things that our government are supposed to look into. People go to correctional services to have a new life. They are there to become born again. They are not supposed to go through worst life. They are supposed to go through therapeutic sessions, a lot of things to revive them, a lot of things to change their orientation about life. But when their environment does not suit the kind of life that will project what the society is expected of them, whenever they leave that facility, they are coming out as monsters. They are coming out even worse than what they were before they get into the correct. give us some other infrastructural facilities like road, hospitals, and some others. Correctional centers also should be looked into, because if you check, we have a lot of Nigerians in it. A lot of Nigerians are in these correctional services, correctional facilities rather. They are there, maybe some are there as suspects, some are there as the accused, some are already been judged and they are serving their terms. But whatever the case might be, they are human beings and they should be treated fairly. Do they even have beds? What is their food like? What do they eat? Just these few months ago, during the budget allocation and the rest, we read about how correctional warders also said that they feed dogs even better than the inmates. What the amount of food the dogs eat goes further than what human being consume. This is how to project what Nigerian prison looks like, when a dog is well fed and human beings are left to starve. A man who was hungry and killed his brother, a person who out of depression killed another, has been judged and now has been sentenced to serve a term in a correctional center. Getting into the correctional center, he met an hostile environment where no one is even willing to help the other, because there is no one to help. And the people, the government that is supposed to see them through this journey, encourage them to do better, give them vocational skills, give them education, things that will brighten up their ideas about life, things that will make them want to do better. But when all these things are missing, a killer goes into the correctional center and then come out to be concerning these correctional services centers. It is very, very important. It is very important. Our correctional centers should be top notch. At least let the government check into it. That people are in prison does not mean that they shouldn't get fresh air. That they are in prison does not mean they shouldn't eat good food. When someone is hungry, they tend to do what is not their will. They tend to do things against their will. These are the things they should check. When the environment is not suitable, they defecate wherever they see, because the toilets are not properly kept. They are human. All these things can cause trauma to them. And once they are traumatized, the essence of keeping them behind bars cannot be met, because the reason why government wants you to go into the prison is for offenders to become a better person. I know that there are schools, there are courses, there are some of those people taking courses in the correctional centers. We should see more. There should be more facilities. Nigeria, we have land, we have a lot of land mass that can actually accommodate stuff like this. And even the existing one can be renovated to suit the current standard of living. I just hope that the government will look into this. And on this note, I want to say thank you for joining us on today's program. To go further, to do well more on this program, we would need your cooperation concerning advert placement. Are you a business person? Do you have a business that you want people to see? Please contact the number on your screen, the studio line, to talk to us concerning your business. Let's do business. And if you are privileged to drop a message for us concerning advert on our Facebook page at CACTV or YouTube at CACTV, we'll be glad to hear from you. I am Toke Bravo. I'll see you tomorrow, Friday, God willing. Say bye-bye from me.